Okay, folks, welcome to the interview. This is a great day for us. We get to welcome back Lakeisha Jalji. Am I saying that right, Lakeisha?
Jaji, you did good.
Jalji. I'm getting close on it. Listen, Lakeisha is in the medical management, the medical practice management arena. And her and I have had some wonderful conversations and working with her clients and helping their medical practices become much more efficient. And if you're in the medical arena, if you're a doctor, if you are a office manager, if you're a practice manager, you want to talk to Lakeisha, and she's going to share with us a bit today on this interview why. So Lakeisha, welcome back to the interview.
Thank you, Peter. Glad to be here.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's get into it. If they want to learn more about you on a personal level, they can watch a previous video. Let's get into some meat of this. Lakeisha, what is it that you're finding the doctor's offices have the most inefficiency on? What do you look for to see that there's inefficiencies in that office?
One of the key things, and I likely will lead with this, is accounts receivable. What is an office accounts receivable percentage?
Is there a national average? Yeah, sorry, there you go.
Yeah. The national average is 12 to 15%. So 12 to 15% of outstanding balances shouldn't be more than 60 days outstanding. Usually if they are, that means that AR balance is high. So we're talking about anywhere I walked into offices where it's 20 to 30%, 40 to 50% of outstanding AR balances greater than 60 days.
And you're saying this is not average, or this is not common in medical practices to have 60 days, 90 days?
Unfortunately, it's more common for it to be more than 90 days out or 120 days out. But think about cash flow. Think about if you have outstanding balances greater than 60 days outstanding. That means that's decreasing your cash flow out, your cash flow that's coming into the practice. So when I see that there's a high AR balance, greater than 15% of claims greater than 60 days old, that tells me there's usually some inefficiencies in the office that we could work on to increase that bottom line cash flow every month.
So tell me, and I know you don't want to give away the farm here, but can you give us a little teaser on what kind of inefficiency could be there? How can they reduce that time frame? Because you're right, that's money in their pocket.
You know, my heart goes out to practices. That's why I love to do this, because I wanted to make an impact. Peter, it could be something as simple as sending an invoice every 30 days, every 60 days. You know, we've got here quickly in healthcare. We went from not paying anything when we walked into the office to more than 60% of doctor's offices clientele is on insurance, and the client has to pay 30%. So we got here really quick over the last 5, 6 years. And to be honest, practices just hasn't had the time to set up the processes to put in place to make sure that we're doing everything on the front end to bring the monies in as quickly as possible.
So I'm sorry to interrupt. So help me understand here. So I go into, you know, I'm a consumer. So I go into the doctor's office, and are you telling me that we just haven't had time to educate that front staff on how to properly evaluate what to collect on the insurance? Is it something as simple as that?
It's a little bit more than education. I mean, we have to look at eligibility and what is the process there, because usually that's where it starts. Like, does most of the patients know what they're paying when they're walking in? Because oftentimes we accept the client as practices and we'll treat the client and then we'll bill them. But is there a process to make sure the client is aware of what is owed up front? And a lot of times that's what's lacking. So if we haven't checked it properly on eligibility, the patient doesn't know what they're going to owe by the end of the visit. And so therefore 30, 60, 90 days down the line, we're still asking for a payment that we could have gotten up front.
So I'm hearing two things here. I'm hearing one, the patient responsibility needs to be addressed right up front, so we're not chasing down the patient for their portion, and then the insurance responsibility and chasing them down. Now, is it true? I've heard that less than 60% of everything billed is actually collected. Is that a true number out there? And that seems absolutely ridiculous to me. Is that true?
Yeah, you're taking my statistic. Yes, I share that statistic all the time. And that resulted in a $60 billion debt, industry-wide, $60 billion debt.
That's amazing. I have to say, I didn't hear this one from you to validate what you're saying. I heard it from another practice manager who only dealt with dentists and who's now retired. She
Yeah.
told me this like 3 years ago. And now you're
Yeah.
telling me again that it
Yeah.
still is 60% uncollected from these insurance. What is wrong? What's missing?
Oh, I know. This is exactly how I feel. I have to always control my emotion because
Yeah,
I
I'm
get so
sorry. I'm
passionate.
getting excited. I'm
No,
like,
this is
what's
how
wrong
I
with this picture?
feel because I'm like, there's something wrong when our physicians are providing a service to our community. It's a lot of different things that affect it. It's not the practice's fault. You know, remember they're in the business of delivering care. They're in the business of making sure that a patient lives or get what they need to survive and have a longevity. And so what has happened in our industry is like the insurance companies, you know, I wouldn't say bad, but the industry has shifted, and unfortunately, a lot of practices have not shifted with it, and so that has lost a lot. That have left a lot of processes antiquated, and it just doesn't work anymore. They don't know what technology is available to them, and it mainly is what I do to say, okay, you can catch this at registration. You don't have to wait till you submit a claim to realize, oh, the patient owes 30%. You can collect it if you have a proper eligibility process in place.
So now, and forgive me for asking kind of a tough question here. I feel like an interviewer. I'm not on CNN, which I don't subscribe to. But is it worth the money to do this? I mean, let's look at bottom line. I mean, you know, and I know the answer by the look on your face. It's got to be yes. I mean, it makes sense to me as a financial advisor that it makes sense to have somebody come in, spend 10, 20 grand or whatever it is with them to save 300 or 400 grand. I mean, are we talking these kind of numbers here?
It could equal that up. It depends on the size of the practice, but my heart sank when I hear physicians because I know it's frustrating. And my heart always sinks when I hear them say it's not even worth it anymore. Because my why, I'm a registered nurse, and my why is because I kept getting clients saying, I can't find a doctor. No one's accepting my insurance. No one's accepting Medicare. And that broke my heart because these patients need care from physicians, and I want to make it easier. That's why I'm here, to make it easier so they can deliver care and I can take care of the insurance on the back end and making sure they are getting a maximum payment on whatever service that they're providing.
All right,
maximum payment.
So Lakeisha, I got to ask you a tough question here. Bear with me, please. Is it worth it for the doctor to take insurance? I mean, let's be real. Is it really, is there enough money to be made with the insurance or with the Medicare or the Medicaid system for a doctor to make enough money to live a life they want to live and not, you know, the opposite? Is it really worth it, or should doctors just abandon it all?
We need them. I can't say if it's worth it or not, but I know we need physicians. I know that my grandmother needs to be taken care of, my mother, my brother, my sisters, my children. We need physicians. And if it's worth it or not, we're going to figure out how to make sure that they're at least living the lifestyle and bringing in the income that's needed to support that lifestyle so they can continue to do what they want to do. And I guess what I really want to say is we're going to make it worth it. With my tenacity,
that's fair.
We're going to make sure that it's worth it for that. I want to make sure it's worth it for that physician, that they walk away after a job well done, feeling like, okay, this was worth it. That's what I'm here for. And that's what I try to represent for my practices, to make sure it's worth it. That's what I want to say. I want to make sure it's worth it.
You know, I think that's fair. And I'm being a little harsh here. And reality is, as a financial advisor, I look at any business as the asset or the tool to generate the revenue to live the life you want to live. Yes. And I see doctors, I see physicians out there, they are living good lives, but I see a lot of inefficiency. Yes. And I see them working their tail off and complaining a bit about the cost of operation. And I know after discussions with you that they can create more efficiency to live a life. That's why they're in practice, maybe handle more patients if that's where their heart or desire is. But what I've heard from you in the past, and I thank you for letting me be a little passionate here. There is a solution. Yes. That's what I'm hearing from you. Yes. You know, and it starts, as you said, let's look at your AR. Yes. Let's look at what time frame you are in AR. Mm-hmm. And right there, you can tell quickly, you're a professional. You can tell quickly where some efficiencies are in the practice and help close those loops right away. Right?
Yes, right away. Literally within 60 days. within 30 to 60 days, we can figure out what's wrong and fix those broken places.
And look at the kind of revenue, cash flow that
Yes.
can now start being generated back into the practice for the practice to do what you want to do. Maybe it goes to the bottom line. Maybe it goes to the pediatrician, or I say pediatrician. Maybe it goes to the doctor's pocketbook. Maybe it goes to hiring staff. Maybe it goes to more efficiencies, more technology. But you can't tell me that having more money today is better than more money tomorrow.
I agree. I agree. And that 20 to 30%, because that's what I see. I'm always shocked when that bottom number.
20 to 30%?
I'm always shocked. Like, I can't believe it. 20 to 30% in the bottom line cash flow every month that doctors are missing out on, just based on integration and efficiencies.
I mean, they'd be a fool not to talk to you just to have some sort of, so now let's go into some detail here, because people are going to want to know. Do you offer an analysis, a free analysis? How do you, how does a doctor evaluate if this is right for their practice, without spending an arm and a leg to evaluate it? I mean, what do you do?
Yeah. So one of the first thing I do is I offer a free practice analysis, 20 to 30 minutes, because I don't want to waste anybody's time. If you're running a good practice and you're doing it well, it will be evident to me. And I'm like, okay, there's nothing I can offer you. You're doing a great job. I'll move on to the next. However, a practice analysis really reveals what's going on behind closed curtains. I'm able to see that AR balance, and I'm able to kind of figure out what we're doing for marketing. I'm able to figure out what we're doing for HIPAA compliance so we don't get hit there. I hit all the specifics of running a practice and figure out where the breakdowns are. 30 to 40 minutes.
And what size practices, is ideal for you to work with? Is it 2 or 3 people? Is it 100 people, or 100 doctors, I should say? Who's your
on my way to 100, but right now, I'm working with privately owned physicians with 1 to 3 providers. So that's physicians, nurse practitioners, PAs, physician assistants, that is privately owned and wearing many hats. And that's where I come in. I'm able to identify pretty quickly some things that they can kind of change around to become more profitable.
Well, this is why I like working with you, Lakeisha. We are really coordinated. We really work well together, because you're helping the doctors create money out of their practice so they can live the life they want to live. I've been in the financial planning business for 30 years. I help them, once that money shows up in their pocket, what do we do with it now? And I like turning that money to tax-free income. So I know between the two of us, we can make this happen for the doctors to live the better life. Grow their practice, grow their life, or whatever the case may be. So, Lakeisha, I promise to keep this nice and short. You've given some amazingly great information this time. I hope you come back to the interview. Would you agree to do that?
Absolutely, Peter. And I just want to say, it feels so good at the end of a proposal and at the end of that quarter, after the doctor see that cash flow, that I can say, okay, now what can we do with the extra money? And then I can say, do you want to generate more tax-free money? And then I can refer your way.
Yeah, no, I love that. I thank you. That's why it's a good synergy. It's a good fit. Look, it's a win-win for everybody out there, for the patient, for the doctor, for the office, for the staff.
Win-win.
Everybody wins here. And, let me just be a little bit crass, right? If we're going to get more money out of that insurance company or Medicaid or Medicare, whoever it is that's paying you, if we can get what's owed you and collect it and get it in there, it's a win. Why leave it in their pocket when it should be in yours? And I know you bring the efficiency to make that happen.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Peter.
Lakeisha, this has been wonderful. Thank you again for your time here today and explaining a little bit deeper. And if you're a practice out there listening to this, a doctor listening to this, please give Lakeisha a call. Her number is posted on here. Her email is posted here. Get a hold of her. Take advantage of just 30 minutes, because it will make a difference for you. I've seen it firsthand. It's worth doing. Thank you again, Lakeisha.
You're welcome. Thank you.